Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Friday. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's entertainment spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with actress and songwriter Dawnn Lewis. She's also an honoree this year of the Women's Songwriter Hall of Fame. We'll talk to her about that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, U.S. to swiftly boost global vaccine sharing, Biden announces on Thursday. President Joe Biden announced on Thursday the U.S. will swiftly donate 25 million doses of surplus vaccine overseas through the UN-backed program, promising infusions for South and Central America, Asia, Africa, and others at a time of glaring shortages abroad and more than ample supplies at home. The doses mark a substantial and immediate boost to the lagging effort, which to date has shared just 76 million doses with needy countries worldwide. The announcement came just hours after the World Health Organization officials in Africa made a new plea for vaccine sharing because of an alarming situation on the continent, where shipments have ground to a near halt while virus cases have spiked over the past 2 weeks. Overall, the White House has announced plans to share 80 million doses globally by the end of June, mostly through the UN program. Officials say a quarter of the nation's excess will be kept in reserve for emergencies and for the U.S. to share directly with allies and partners. Of the first 19 million donated through the UN program, approximately 6 million doses will go to South and Central America, 7 million to Asia, and 5 million to Africa. As long as this pandemic is raging anywhere in the world, the American people will still be vulnerable, Biden said in a statement on Thursday. And the United States is committed to bringing the same urgency to international vaccination efforts that we have demonstrated at home. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the U.S. will retain the say on where doses are distributed through the UN ultimately go. But he also said, "We're not seeking to extract concessions. We're not extorting. We're not imposing conditions the way that other countries who are providing doses are doing. These are doses that are being given, donated free and clear to these countries, for the sole purpose of improving the public health situation and helping end the pandemic." In more national news, U.S. traffic deaths up 7% last year, highest number since 2007. U.S. traffic deaths rose 7% last year, the biggest increase in 13 years, even though people drove fewer miles due to the coronavirus pandemic, the government's road safety agency reported on Thursday. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration blamed the increase on drivers taking more risk on less congested roads by speeding, failing to wear seatbelts, or driving while impaired by drugs or alcohol. An estimated 38,680 people died in traffic crashes last year, the most of any year since 2007. Motorcyclist death rose 9% last year to 5,015, while bicyclist deaths were up 5% to 846. Deaths involving a large truck fell 2%, while traffic fatalities among people 65 and over fell 9%. In more national news, Justice Department stepping up enforcement of hate crimes. The Justice Department is stepping up its enforcement of hate crimes and other bias-related incidents, furthering a promise by Attorney General Merrick Garland to focus on civil rights violations. Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark, recently sworn in and the first black woman to hold the position, said the effort has led to indictments in multiple cases over the past 6 months, but the number of hate crimes has grown. In November, the FBI said they'd reached the highest level in more than a decade. Hate crimes are especially pernicious because they harm targeted individuals in the entire community to which the individual belongs, she said in a statement to the Associated Press. No community should live in fear because of who they are, where they are from, or what they believe, and it is our goal to make that a reality. And finally, in entertainment news, after pandemic pause, Avengers soar into Disneyland. Now that it's getting safer to assemble, the Avengers are at last descending on Disneyland. A Spider-Man ride that lets visitors blast bots with virtual webs from their bare hands, and a show of strength from the Royal Guard of Wakanda are among the highlights of the new Avengers campus at Disney's California Adventure Park, whose debut was paused for about a year by the coronavirus pandemic before it opens to the public today. The Avengers Campus seeks to be an immersive experience that allows guests to become superheroic across a series of rides, shows, and eateries from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're excited to finally open up the gates and let everyone in. Scott Drake, a portfolio creative executive with Walt Disney Imagineering, said at the park on Wednesday. We had 70-plus years of stories and amazing characters to pull from, 23 epic films, and for us it was, what is the best way to get our guests right in the middle of those stories, right in the middle of the action? Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. A true act of giving lies in the value it has for both people. Keep in mind it is essential to ask others before doing things for them. You do not necessarily need to ask their permission. It depends on what you are planning to do for them. You must make sure your help is really needed. Never assume, as 99% of all assumptions are false. Give or do for others out of a sense of true concern for their needs. It is important to make sure the other person really wants or needs what you have to give. Some people support others because it enhances their own sense of self-worth. This person feels like the rescuer and thinks the other person cannot survive without them. It is always important to remember the true act of giving lies in the value it has for both people. Today, lend a hand because others truly need it, not out of a sense of obligation. As you go about, enjoy the day.
Dawnn Lewis is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Actress and songwriter Dawnn Lewis joined me recently on Conversations Live's radio show to talk about her extraordinary career. She's also one of the honorees this year of the Women's Songwriter Hall of Fame. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Well, look, this is a real honor. I mean, it's the first time we've had you on the program, and you are one of those people that, you know, individuals love, for one thing, because we're still able to watch a different world, you know, thanks to cable, right, on television. But also that theme song is something that has really taken on a life of its own. So what has that been like for you, Dawnn, to reflect on not only the career you've had in front of the camera, but also how your words continue to impact people?
Thank you very much for that. I mean, between A Different World and any number of the other shows that I've been on during my career that I'm incredibly grateful for, you just never know why people have become attached to you, whether it's Major Crimes or iZombie or anything like that along the way. Yeah. But when I started my career, I've been performing since I was a child, singing, dancing, and acting since before I was a teenager. So that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a performer. I particularly wanted to be a writer. So I had been writing and performing jingles even while I was in college. I was a session singer. I was doing shows off Broadway and on Broadway. I was doing a national tour of a Broadway show, The Tap Dance Kid, with Hinton Battle, legendary Harold Nicholas of the Nicholas Brothers, and someone who's now grown into his own right as an amazing performer. It was Mr. Dule Hill, was our kid when he was 10. And Dule still dances and sings to this day. So I had a record contract, had a single out, I was charting on Billboard, and then this opportunity for the Cosby spinoff came up. So the person who did the music contacted me because he knew me as a singer-songwriter and asked me to write the theme song. He said, this is the premise of the show. Let me see what you got. If you're the same person that wrote these other songs, then I think you're going to be perfect.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on Monday with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.